before you were this phenomenal actor, you had humble beginnings, like all of us did. Born and raised in Detroit, Michigan, and that couldn't have been easy, you know.
Mhm. Yeah.
So, yeah. So I just want to start off with, um, how were you raised? Two parent household, single parent household, siblings, cousins, all that good stuff. Can you just tell me where they all start for you?
It all started on the west side of Detroit. I grew up in a single mother home, so I have a younger sister as
Okay.
well. And yeah, I mean, looking back at it now, it's like now that I understand certain things, I'm like, there was definitely a lot of activity going on, but we were just kids growing up, just happy to be able to go outside back when kids went outside.
Yes.
And
Until the street lights came on.
exactly.
But
And
what type of activity, when you say that, what type of activity are you referring
sports,
to?
sports.
Oh,
So
okay,
strictly
got you.
just playing sports, basketball, football, baseball, all that type of stuff until the street lights came on, as you said.
Mhm.
And yeah, my father wasn't in my life. I met him at 11. When
What was that like?
it was interesting because the way my mother found him was he was actually locked up for child support.
Wow.
So yeah, I met him after that, and just a weird exchange. It was one of them like I was optimistic. I was open to it because it was more of like, okay, that's where I get
Mhm,
my height from. Okay,
mm.
where I get my looks or certain looks, and putting two and two together. But at the same time, the realization of you haven't done much. Like I'm 11, I'm just now meeting you. Yeah,
Mm.
it was interesting and just put things in perspective and made me gain more respect for moms who was doing, the brunt of the work.
Got you. So let me ask you, before you met your father, what was your perception of him? Like, what was told to you about him?
Essentially, what was told to me, and it was just a reality, but it was a reality of he just chooses not to be around. He
Mm.
knows he knows who you are and where you are and who you're with. He's just choosing not to be around you.
And so, what was your perception after you met? When you had the conversation, if you had a conversation with him, was there any accountability on his part? Any explanation? What was your
No,
perception after?
no,
No.
no, no, no. There was no accountability taken. What I came to realize as an 11-year-old is, I mean, sometimes just people ain't shit. I mean, like for lack of better words, and there was no explanation. And what I saw as an 11-year-old was it was probably best that you weren't around me. You're not the best influence. You're a womanizer. You pretty much live off of women, and that was just a harsh reality.
Got you.
Yeah.
And so, so after you came to that realization at the age, did you wait a minute? When did you come to that realization at 11 or older?
When I met him at 11,
Right when you met him at 11. Wow.
because I looked around at other friends and their fathers chose to be present. It's like when somebody chooses to stay distant, like, yeah. And now as a grown man, I understand it even more, where it's like it is a choice and it's your responsibility and you ran from it.
Mm,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. So, so you, being in that single parent household, what type? Who? I mean, you had, it's always a special relationship between father, a mother, and a son. I mean,
Mhm.
that's a given. And since where you still with your father, did you receive any type of guidance or did you have any positive male figures in your life? Did you really teach you how to become a man at all?
Yeah, I did. I had my mother's father, my grandfather. I also
Okay.
had my sister's father, who my mother was married to for a brief period. He was a great influence, a musician actually. So he was a creative, and yeah, uncles and stuff like that. But like something that was like close knit, that would probably be my grandfather. And again, he was 40 years older than me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, what is like some of the gems that your grandfather um bestowed upon you that you still apply to it, especially being a father yourself?
One of the main things is say what you mean and mean what you say, and pretty much stand on your word. He always told me keep your word, stay consistent with
Yes.
standing on business. Pretty much, like don't be inconsistent and take accountability. That was one of the main things where
Mhm.
he's like, "Don't complain. Situations are situations. Push through it, and don't play the victim ever."
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's good stuff.
Mhm.
So now, so given that, which is good gems right there, but did you understand or did was you taught the value of vulnerability as a man? Because that's so not easy,
No,
for a man to acquire.
no, I wasn't.
You wasn't. Oh, okay.
No.
So,
Yeah, no, so as a 45-year-old man now,
mhm,
I
mhm,
can look back on my grandfather's words and I understand them now. Back then, like, he was just a grown man having these deep conversations, and I'm like a preteen, and I'm just like, "Alright, man, like, that doesn't really apply to my life," but, as far as vulnerability, I can't say that I ever experienced that because honestly, being raised by a woman
mhm,
that was handling everything on her own, I think it was there were 2 sides. So, either you're gonna be a nurturer or you're gonna be an enforcer. She was more of an
mm,
enforcer, so I never
mm,
really received, like, that
the
nurturing.
nurturing.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, which
Okay.
is probably what affects me as a grown man now. Like, so I look at stuff and I'm like, I'm not playing the blame game, but it's like,
Got you.
yeah.
Yeah, but no, but you understand it. You
Mhm,
understand it. Okay. I'm gonna bookmark that 'cause I'm gonna get more to that vulnerability
mhm.
part, because we still in the childhood stage, but when we
Yeah,
get to adult, then we'll get back to that. I definitely wanna get back into that because that's very important right there.
yeah.
So you growing up, how was it like? Because I always like to get into, if you can remember, junior, elementary and junior high, because the people don't realize those are pivotal stages in your life, especially
Oh, hell yeah.
for a boy, you inquiring about your anatomy, your interacting with teachers, other kids, you're dry humping in a staircase, you're just, you're learning about, you experiencing girls at that age. It's so much that you educate yourself about to where people just think that it's all about high school, but no, it starts before that. So
Yeah.
what was that time for you in elementary and junior high?
For me, elementary was more of I was more closed off, more guarded. I was molested by an older male cousin when I
Mm,
was 6. So
mm,
from that point on, I went inward.
goodness.
So I was a
Mm,
very shy kid. I came out of my shell when there was like a like-minded interest, with other kids like sports pretty much. But besides that, I was closed off.
mm,
I didn't really talk much. If anything, if any emotion I expressed, it was probably fighting. And I used
got
to
you.
get into a lot of fights simply because I was teased because I had light eyes, I had long eyelashes, like just
So you had to
typical
prove
kid.
yourself. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
got
was
it.
I was always tested because I was looked at as like he a pretty boy. So it's and then the little girls,
Haters. Yeah.
like me, yeah. So it's
Yeah,
like
the Beatles. Yeah,
we don't
Beatles.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, we don't like him because all the girls
Yeah,
look at him,
yeah,
and I wasn't paying no attention to it. And then
yeah.
middle school was more of acting out. So
Rebellion.
yeah, definitely rebelling due to the absence of father influence immediate in the home, and also having female teachers. I
Mm,
was combative simply because I was never heard. It was always do
mm.
what I tell you to do, so
Wow. That
I was
just
like
resonated with me just now, but yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
I was combative with my
Yes.
female teachers for sure. Like, and I definitely disrupted the class. Even though I was smart, I purposely went
Clowns.
yeah.
Mhm, yes.
So,
Yeah, that resonates with me so much. 'Cause you
mhm.
sound like my son when, at that time, yes. I'm
Yeah.
like, "Okay, son, you made a name for yourself, they know who you are, you impressed them, so now focus, sweetie,
Yeah.
focus."
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I get it. But, I'm gonna go back, I don't wanna speak, too deeply into
I'm transparent. No, we can talk
the
about
S
whatever.
and okay, but I don't wanna do, the SA part when you mentioned about you being SA'd, at 6.
Mm.
Did you, at some point, like, were you vocal about that to anyone, and how did you cope with that? I just wanted to get your take on how did you cope?
Never told anybody
Never told
until I
anyone.
was an adult, maybe about 2
Mm.
years ago.
2 years ago?
Yeah.
So you held wait, Emory, you held on to that?
Mhm. I mean, I told past girlfriends and stuff like that, but, like,
Wow.
yeah,
So
nobody
let me Oh, I'm sorry. Because I wanted to ask you because when it comes to boys and, was it, a man or woman that did it?
Male. It was a I was 6, he was had to be like 13.
Because 'cause I'm thinking because when they have to recap that, sometimes it's a prideful thing because they feel like, that affects their,
Am I gay? Yeah, for
sexuality,
sure.
their
Yeah.
identity when they get older and they're perceived to be a certain way, and it doesn't have to be, but that's why I wanted to, ask you how did you cope with that, and you held on to it all this time, and, how did it affect you in relationships?
I did go inward. Did I ever question my sexuality? Not necessarily. I just felt pretty much tainted, where it was just like
Mhm,
I really
mhm.
didn't know how to digest that. As far as relationships, I really didn't get into a serious relationship until I got into college. So I was like 18 and 19 in my first relationship, but I was emotionally immature.
Yes,
So I
mhm.
didn't know how to handle certain stuff. I didn't know how to handle being in love, all that type of stuff, and kind
Got
of
it.
demanding respect,
Mhm.
you know, simply
Mm,
from the side effects of being raised by a single mom.
got it.
Yeah.
And so, another thing, what happened that, with
Oh,
that?
the cousin, I rarely saw him much after that. So we grew into adulthood. I saw him like maybe like 4 years ago. I thought I was gonna have some type of anger toward him. I just spoke, kept it moving. I slightly felt good that I was doing better in life than he was, uh,
Mhm,
but I
mhm.
didn't have any ill will or like hate or anything. It was just more of
It was never addressed, and he just
no, it was never addressed, and
he loves and he's
I didn't want to address it because I'm like, if this nigga tell me he don't even remember that, that's probably what's gonna
that's gonna trigger you, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just so unfortunate, Emory, that, that, a lot of especially men, they don't it's not even spoken about, is silenced, or that perp is normally not punished, you
Yeah.
know, and
Yeah.
that's the thing that really, um, pisses me off, really, I just but I like I said, I understand, a lot of times where why didn't you tell anyone? Let's go. Why didn't you say anything?
Mm, honestly, I didn't feel that protected. What you gonna do?
Right, yeah, I was thinking that too, that's why I said especially with boys, it just seemed like but how did your mom feel when she found out later on?
I told her about 2 years ago. She cried. It was kinda like, I
Yeah, I
never knew
mean,
that happened.
can
Yeah.
you I can only imagine if, I even wanna think just my son finding
Mhm.
out. Oh, I don't know what I would do, Emory, but I'm just, I just wanna just give insert this real quickly to the audience. Just please just call it out, say something. That happens to you if you are a victim of that. Don't ever feel ashamed. It is not your fault. You didn't do anything to provoke it. You know, just talk about it, So I just wanted to put that out there, but I don't want to dwell too much into it, but I just wanted to kind of make that a focal point just for one moment because I just want I don't want to begin to imagine because I didn't experience it, thank God, but just from the outside looking in and you giving your experience, it's just yeah. It's
Yeah.
triggering me just as much, and I haven't even like I said, I haven't even lived it, but it's even triggering for me
Yeah.
because it's not spoken about enough, especially among Black men, so,
No,
we
you're
gotta
right.
speak on it, we gotta speak on that. But I
That's
thank you
very
for
true.
sharing it, Emory. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Alright, so you talk about what kind of sports did you get into?
Basketball, baseball, and football.
Okay. How
Mhm.
good were you?
I would say I was probably the best at basketball, um, basketball and football. I wish I would have stuck with baseball. I'd probably still be playing.
Oh, really? So what happened? What happened there?
I so the resources. I mean, like my mom wasn't worried about that. Nothing extracurricular. It was more of I got to go to work. You going to school. Anything outside of that, we a see. You know.
Got you.
Yeah.
Okay, so you was kinda stifled in that sense,
Yeah.
so
It was more
yeah.
of that ain't really a priority at the moment.
Mm.